Welcome to Copilot Podcasts. Did you know that ancient Hawaiians developed a fishing system so advanced it's still unmatched anywhere else in the world? Today, we're diving into how Hawaiian cultural values are revolutionizing ocean conservation and why this centuries-old wisdom might hold the key to saving our seas.
And it's not just about fishing techniques, it's about a fundamentally different way of seeing our relationship with the ocean and nature itself.
You know, I think what's really fascinating is how these traditional practices supported such a large population. The search results show that Hawaii's traditional system once supported almost 1 million people. That's about the same as Hawaii's current population.
Exactly. And at the heart of this system is a concept called aloha ina, which literally means love of land, but it's so much more than that.
Can you break that down for us?
Well, aloha ina is really about stewardship. There's this fundamental Hawaiian principle: take care of the land and the land will take care of you. It's not just about conservation, it's about relationship.
That's so different from how we often think about environmental protection today.
You know, there's actually a beautiful story that illustrates this connection. According to Hawaiian legend, humans and plants descended from Papahanaumoku, Mother Earth, and Wakea, Father Sky.
Oh, tell us more about that.
Well, from their union came Ho'ohakakalani, whose first child was stillborn. When they buried the child, the first kalo, taro plant, grew from that spot. Her second child became the first human.
So in Hawaiian culture, plants and humans are literally family?
Exactly. And this extends to the ocean too. The kumulipo, a Hawaiian creation chant, actually says that all life started with the coral polyp. They consider it their earliest ancestor.
That's fascinating. And speaking of coral, I found something really interesting in the research. Hawaii's coral reefs provide an estimated economic value of $863 million annually.
Yes, but for native Hawaiians, the value goes far beyond economics. It's about maintaining that ancestral connection and responsibility.
Let's talk about how they put that responsibility into practice. I'm particularly interested in these fish ponds I've been reading about.
Ah, the loko'ia. These were absolutely revolutionary. They're actually considered one of the most advanced forms of aquaculture in the ancient world.
What made them so special?
Well, according to the research, these fish ponds could produce about 300 pounds of fish per acre per year. And here's the amazing part. They did this without any artificial feeds or inputs.
How was that possible?
They worked with natural systems. The ponds were built where freshwater streams met the ocean. The nutrients from the streams promoted the growth of algae and microorganisms that formed the base of a complex food web.
That's incredible engineering for something built hundreds of years ago.
And you know what's really interesting? At the time of Captain Cook's arrival in 1778, there were about 360 of these fish ponds throughout Hawaii.
How many are still in use today?
According to current data, only 14 remain in production. But there's a growing movement to restore these systems.
Why were they so effective?
They were part of a larger system called ahupua'a, land divisions that ran from the mountains to the sea. Everything was connected and managed holistically.
So how are these traditional practices being integrated into modern conservation efforts?
Well, one exciting example is the Hawaii Conservation Alliance's work. They're actively integrating Hawaiian knowledge and values into modern conservation strategies.
And is it working?
According to their position paper, the integration of Hawaiian approaches is significantly enhancing the long-term success of conservation efforts.
I also saw something really innovative about coral reef insurance.
Yes, this is a fascinating blend of traditional values and modern solutions. Hawaii became the first U.S. state to get coral reef insurance in 2022.
What exactly does that mean?
It means there's now funding available for immediate coral reef repair and restoration after hurricanes or tropical storms. They just renewed it for 2025.
That's such a creative solution. Are there other examples of this kind of innovation?
Absolutely. There's the Kuleana Coral Restoration Program, which is training native Hawaiians in underwater coral restoration techniques.
Why is that significant?
Well, despite growing up with deep cultural connections to the sea, many native Hawaiians face barriers to entering marine science fields. This program helps bridge that gap.
It sounds like there's a real emphasis on community involvement.
Yes, and that's actually very aligned with traditional Hawaiian values. Conservation was never meant to be something separate from daily life and community.
What are some of the biggest challenges these programs are facing?
According to the research, the main threats are climate change, overfishing, land-based pollution, and urbanization.
Those sound like pretty universal challenges for ocean conservation.
True, but the Hawaiian approach to addressing them is unique because it's so holistic. They look at everything from mountain to ocean as interconnected.
Can you give an example of how that works in practice?
Sure. The Holomua Marine Initiative, for instance, doesn't just focus on ocean conservation. They recognize that what happens on land directly affects the ocean.
That makes so much sense when you think about it.
And it's backed by science. Recent studies show that this integrated approach is more effective than treating ocean conservation in isolation.
Are there specific success stories you can point to?
The Heiea fish pond restoration is a great example. It's over 600 years old, and they're successfully combining traditional knowledge with modern science to revitalize it.
That's amazing. How are they doing that?
They're using advanced monitoring systems to track water quality and fish populations, but the basic design and management principles are still the traditional ones.
It really seems like there's a lot the world could learn from this approach.
Absolutely. The Hawaiian perspective shows us that effective conservation isn't just about protecting resources, it's about maintaining relationships.
And those relationships extend beyond just the physical environment, right?
Exactly. In Hawaiian culture, there's no separation between the cultural and the environmental. They're completely intertwined.
That seems like such a crucial insight for modern conservation efforts.
And it's why programs that ignore cultural aspects often struggle to succeed in the long term.
So what's the key takeaway for our listeners?
I think it's that effective ocean conservation isn't just about science and technology, it's about relationship and responsibility.
And Hawaiian culture provides a model for that?
Yes, a model that's been proven over centuries and is now being validated by modern science.
It's really inspiring to see this ancient wisdom being applied to modern challenges.
And the results speak for themselves, from successful fish pond restorations to innovative coral reef protection programs.
What's next for these initiatives?
Well, the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation just announced $2.1 million in grants for Hawaii conservation projects in 2025.
That's substantial support for this work.
And it shows growing recognition that traditional Hawaiian approaches have a crucial role to play in modern conservation.
Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode of Co-Pilot Podcasts. Remember, sometimes the most innovative solutions are actually centuries old. We just need to be willing to learn from them.
And as Hawaiians have known for generations, when we take care of the ocean takes care of us.
Mahalo for listening, everyone. Until next time.